Now it's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T. from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Hey, it's time for the Jesse T Show. It is a Wednesday in Southern California, that's for sure. I got the hat on. I got the glasses on. I'm sporting the dark look with the dark shirt. That's right. You know why? Because I am the toothless wonder today. That's right. When you were growing up and going to school and you didn't do your homework and you said to the teacher when they came to you and said, okay, Jesse, where's your homework? And I said, well, the dog chewed it up last night. You know, he ate it up, and the teacher looked at you and said, all right, sure, yeah, and you got in trouble, right? Well, you know what happened to me today? What happened to me today is that I'm getting ready to leave, and I can't find my tooth because I have a tooth because I had that tooth there for a long time, and it got knocked out a long time ago, so I've always had that tooth. I got a retainer little tooth right here, right? So I'm looking for my tooth in the little thing where I have the water and all that stuff. You know, you guys don't know about that if you got all your teeth, but if you don't have all your teeth, you know about that. And so I'm looking for it, and I can't find it. Now I'm getting frustrated. Right? And we recently got two little kittens. Mama T brought home two kittens. Now, look cats and me just don't mix too well. That's for sure. I like dogs, but cats and me don't mix. So I'm looking around for this tooth, and sure enough, my cat comes rolling around the corner into my office with this thing stuck out his mouth like Popeye, man. He's got like spinach stuck out his mouth, right? And I'm saying, what's going on here? So I look at it, and I go to give him. He runs away. I'm chasing the cat around the house with my tooth stuck out of his mouth. Now, can you figure that? So I am a pirate today. The cat got my tooth. What a way to start my day. I tell you, it's the Jesse T Show. Good to have you with us. We are now in beautiful paradise. The weather's changing here in Southern California. Little by little. It's not quite as hot, but we're gonna steam it up in here. We're gonna turn this into a little boxing ring today. That's right. We're gonna have some fun talking about boxing and fighting, and we've got two terrific, wonderful guests. I'll be introducing them in just a second. But I just want to let you know, and thank you very much for checking in with us at Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, Instagram Live at Jesse Torrero, YouTube channel Jesse Torrero, The Power of Voices on Facebook and YouTube, also Google+, Tumblr, Blogger, Periscope, LinkedIn, Twitter, and the powerofvoices.com radio network at www.thepowerofvoices.com. So now that we got all that good information out of the way, I'll hit the start button over here on this one, and we've already started out here on the other camera, so we're making our way through here. Way to the right of me, way down yonder to the right of me, that distinguished world champion of multiple world champion, the one and only, the greatest fighter of all time. Seriously, one of the greatest fighters of all time, ladies and gentlemen, Benny the Jet Urquidez! Boom!
Made me want to get ready to rumble.
Hey. Man, I'm ready, baby.
There you go.
No, I don't want to rumble with you, though. That's for sure. Absolutely not, man. You had that famous long right hook, and that kick, you could kick like so high.
That I can.
Yeah, man, this guy, let me tell you, if you ever saw Benny fight when he was in his prime, he was multi-champion, multi-world champion, many times, and he comes from a great family in the San Fernando Valley, and they were all athletes and all fighters, and they were just a terrific, close family, and they still are. But this man took all comers. He didn't dodge anybody. He never passed up an opportunity to get in the ring and show his stuff, and he showed it to many a guy real fast. I tell you, Benny, it was great watching you during the fight days when I was a kid, a little younger than you, of course, and it was great watching you fight, and you and your family had just every time, you and Bobby Chacon and Indian Red Lopez, all the cats from the San Fernando Valley, and Benny the Jet. I mean, you guys were great, man.
Well, I believe that at that era, from 69 through the 70s, I mean, everybody that fought, it seemed like everybody was fighting for the world title. Everybody was tying shoelaces, and they fought.
Yeah, they really fought.
There was no dancing around. It was, they just tied shoelaces and they went at it until somebody fell.
And you were great with the striking with the hands, but you were also great with your feet and your elbows, and you were fast, really fast. And of course, kickboxing was you were the kickboxing champion, one of the very best of all time. But you could also just straight box.
I come from my first discipline was boxing.
Yeah.
And from there, I went right into judo, and because my mother was a professional wrestler, so judo seemed to fit for me really quick. And so my first two disciplines were actually boxing and wrestling. And then from judo, went right into Kempo. And all my brothers, I mean, there's 9 black belts in my family. My father was a professional boxer, my mother a professional wrestler. There's 4 champions in my family. And so now we got a 5th,
That's right. We got family. a fifth family. And what a way to introduce this beautiful and lovely young lady right here to the right of me. And I got to tell you, we got an exceptional story to talk about with this lovely, lovely athlete here. And she is a brand new world champion, and she goes by the name of Roxy, right? And you have a cliche name though. What is it called?
Right hook Roxy.
Right. Say that again.
Right hook Roxy.
Oh, give me that right hook, Roxy.
There you go.
Yes, and I asked her before the show started. I said, "Look at Roxy. Do you have that right hook, that long right hook that Benny had, or do you have that like short, boom, that short right hook from the inside?" She goes, "It just depends where I'm at." Well, that's a fighter, man, because it is a science. And the better you learn that science of fighting and angles and where you're at, the better off you're going to be. Well, something happened to you recently, which is really spectacular. Now, how old are you, may I ask?
I'm 16 years old, turning 17 September 30th.
All right, man. You're September 30th, baby.
Yes.
My daughter's born on September 1st.
Oh, wow.
So you guys are September kids, right? She's a little older than you, 28. But she, too, is a professional athlete as well. Do you hope to be a professional fighter? Because we're going to talk about some of these belts, some of this bling bling that's on you right now, because I want to get to that. But is that your goal, to be world champion in the professional ranks?
I plan to go to the Olympics 2020 and maybe stay around for 2024. I'll only be 21, and depending where the contracts and the money comes from, maybe I'll go professional. Well,
you certainly have the lineage to protect you, and let's not forget about the lady who we call Mom. Yeah, so we got Gloria over here. Gloria, stick your face in the camera over here. Just say hi, because I can't bring you up if I right here. There you are, right there, right here. Where are you at? Where Gloria? There, that's Gloria. That's Mom. So you're now known as Mom. Okay.
Yes.
Are you proud of your daughter?
Absolutely.
Just remember one thing: Mom was a fighter too.
I know. I was just going to get to that, right? I was just going to get to that.
I'm actually one of her trainers.
Are you really?
Yes.
Isn't that fantastic to have your mom in your ring and your training? And that Mom pushes you harder than any trainer, because she knows how to push your buttons.
She's at home too.
Wait a second, that's right. Yeah, you get her when she comes home.
Yeah,
she don't get away from you.
At the dinner table, I always kind of like watch what she has to eat.
I know.
I wake her up early, make sure she's running. I feed her the right foods, make sure she's not snacking on junk food when she's in competition.
Yeah, well, you got some fights coming up, so we're going to talk about what just happened here. If you want to, you can join the interview and pull your chair up right here between your daughter and myself. We'll get you in there. Just have to speak up a little bit louder when you speak, because you're a little farther away from the mic. But now let's talk about this recent trip that you took. I was trying to get to the airport when you got back. Unfortunately, I had some family things that I had prearranged, and I couldn't make it down there to cover it. But you went somewhere. Where did you go? Now this is great, ladies and gentlemen. You got to listen to this.
I went to Budapest, Hungary. I fought for Team USA against the whole world at AIBA Youth World Championships, and I fought Kazakhstan, Turkey, Mongolia, and now I'm ranked #1 in the world.
Oh, man, wait a minute. Now, let's repeat that again. That was just way too fast for me. Slow it down. Slow it down. So you got a chance to travel to the other side of the planet.
Yes.
That in itself is an experience for a fighter, isn't it, Benny?
Well, you know what? I mean, especially just remember, when you're going to a third world country, usually, I mean, there's rules, but really there's no rules. When you're in there, it's about heart and how strong your jaw is.
Yeah.
And the cleverness is she has such a great skill of understanding the art of war. And this is what I think she has over everybody.
That's great.
At her age,
Absolutely.
she is really good with the art of war.
Absolutely. You got to read the book, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, when you get a little bit older or at any time, Mom, because that'll give you even more depth on how to defeat your enemy, how the general defeats the enemy all the time.
I do love reading a lot. So
you're a reader. That's great. I'll tell you, to have the brawn and the smarts, and it's like Rowdy Ronda Rousey,
There you go.
You've got that whole package, and that's cool. But, going overseas, what was that like for you, getting on a plane and flying to the other side of the planet, basically? I mean, you're basically in Russia at that point.
That's right.
The old Soviet Union.
Yes. At first, we got there a week before, so I was able to get adjusted to the time. But the food was very different. So when
Tell
I
me
was
about
eating,
the food. Tell me about the food.
They're mostly like bologna. Like, I don't know what it is, and they're mostly like just cheese eaters and like slices of meat and bread, a lot of bread. And
a lot of bread, huh?
Yes, and they eat a lot of pork out there, actually.
Yeah.
But it was just all fattening, and it was kind of hard for me, but at the end of the day, I got it done, and
Right.
yeah, I fixed it.
Yeah, you can't eat too much because you got to make weight.
Well,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pushing that weight.
Yeah, you're always worrying about that. Now, how are you with your weight? Are you always able to make it, or is your body growing so you're always kind of pushing the next level up?
Yes. About like a year ago or two, I was actually 101 pounds, and now I'm 119. So
Yeah.
I've been growing, and my mom and everyone's been noticing that I've been growing. So
Right.
now I'm okay at 119, but if I grow some more, then I'll go to 125. If I stay, I'll probably drop down or stay.
Right. Well, in the fight game, weight is always a problem until you get to the
Yes.
super heavyweights, and even that's an issue too, because if they get too big,
They can't gain
They can't
gain weight. Or they have to, and they're just too light for their weight class.
Right. Did you have a problem with that, Benny, when you
know
were
what?
fighting?
Again, because remember my first belt, it was at 130.
Yeah.
I walk around at 147. So to get to 130, and actually I went to 130 with 3% body fat on me, and that is not healthy.
Oh, man.
And I had 3% body fat. They actually lift me up, put me on the scale. I made the weight, took me off the scale, and I had a lot of miso soup.
Oh, yeah,
right
man.
there and there.
Yeah.
Miso soup, just get my minerals back and stuff.
Get the carbs back
But
in
I
you,
tell
yeah.
you what, by the time my fight, because I was always the last, so that means my fight was about maybe 11, 12 o'clock at night, sometimes 1 o'clock
So you
at
could
night.
pack it.
So
Yeah.
I was able to actually
Right.
get my energy and so forth. So that's what I was telling Roxy. I said, hey, just because you're at weight, don't mean that, okay, after it's over with this. I said, it's not over. Just because you won the fight, don't mean it's over with. I said, now your work begins. So she understands that the weight is a big issue because, again, you want to be as light as possible and as strong as possible.
Right.
And she does. She hits like a Mack truck. She hits just like my sister Lily.
Oh man, Lily was a great. You come from a great lineage. Your mom,
Yes.
your that would have been your aunt, right?
Yes.
Your Aunt Lily. Let me I'll tell you about Lily. I grew up in Sun Valley in Pacoima, okay, and I was kind of a street guy, and Benny actually used to go to the Boys and Girls Club on San Fernando Road and Van
That's
Nuys
it.
Boulevard, the
That's
old
it.
church, and he used to teach us little kids, some skills, right? And we would come from all around on our bicycles and stuff. Now this is going back into the '60s, and Benny was the first guy that ever taught me how to throw a right and throw a jab and this kind of stuff. And he taught all the little boys. I wasn't something special. I mean, I never became a fighter, though I was a fighter, but I never wanted to be a fighter. But because of Benny, I continued on learning how to box. But here's the point. Whenever there was an altercation in the street at that time, and we heard that the Urquidezes were going to be there, we all split, man. And the one that we were most afraid of. The one that we were most afraid of was, is Lily going to be there? Man, Lily was as tough as they come, and you've got some of that bloodline in you,
Yes.
and that's very, very cool. What's it like having the whole family as part of your team? Because, boxers and fighters, they want to put that team together because it's the team that helps you. What's that like compared to maybe some of your peer group that's boxing?
I feel like it's got me closer and like it's more like communicative, like with my mom and my uncle and everybody, because I'm able to talk to them about certain things that I couldn't tell my coach, and I feel like it's more personal. So therefore, it's a little bit more pressure, but at the end of the day, it helps me a lot, and it actually calms my nerves. I'm able to like, oh, my mom's here, so I could talk to her instead of like asking a coach, you know, and it just it helps a lot.
Right. Just as long as when she's in the corner, she's whooping some ass on somebody. I'm sorry. I had to do the Rock there. Whooping some ass, right? I apologize, Mom. That's all right.
I say worse in the corner.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. But when you're whooping somebody, you just don't. As long as she says, you know, Mom, I really like that guy in school.
Oh my God.
No, come on.
The point, which guy?
Yeah, and then Benny comes and goes, who? And then your father, or whoever else is part of the team, absolutely. You know, so you get off the plane, you get in hungry, and you start getting ready to do the weigh-in and then get yourself, you know, acclimated to the weather and the air and stuff like that, and that whole experience. The smells of a country is different.
It smells like cigarettes a lot. Like
they smoke a lot over there.
Even kids my age, I've seen them walking around just smoking. I'm like, oh my gosh! But it's normal. It's a European thing.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. They're still real big cigarette smokers. But now you have this team that's been professional athletes around the world. They fought around the world. So you get there and you're there for a specific event now. Tell me about the event again, but slow it down just a little bit.
Yes, it was a YIBA Youth World Championship. So
it's a world championship.
Yes.
So that's why you fought all these people from around the around the globe.
Yeah.
So this wasn't just some local fight.
That's right.
This is a world championships.
Yes.
So did you have to qualify for that?
Yes.
Did you have to go through a series of fights to get that? How did that happen?
First, I had won in December last year. I won the to be on Team USA, so I got my spot on Team USA, and then I fought in Youth Continentals, which was just South America, Canada, you know, like all the Americas, and we fought against, like, I didn't fight. I was the only one that was unopposed at 119 pounds, so I got my spot, but everyone else did fight. I mean, it was respected. People were telling me, oh, you just won the gold. I was like, well, then I'll show you at World Championships that I can win a gold there too, but we had to qualify there and then go to World Championships.
So now you get there, right? And you get there and all these young ladies from around the globe are there, and they're all warming up, and they're all doing. I guess it was a long day event. There were a lot of fights.
2 weeks.
2 weeks of fight. Were you there? Were you guys there 2 weeks? 2 weeks.
I was there 3 weeks. I was gone from home for a month and a week. No, a month and a week. 5 weeks. I was gone. They were gone for just 2 weeks. I had it longer.
Man, that's wild. That's really cool. I didn't think it was that long. I figured maybe 3, 4, 5 days or something like that. So there's a ton of fights going on, and you're winning, and you're winning, and you're winning. Did you see that this is boxing, right?
Yes.
Okay, not kickboxing yet, but
just straight boxing.
Straight boxing. Okay, sweet science, right? Now, so are you a southpaw or are you a right hand?
I'm a lefty.
You're
so
a lefty.
yes,
You're southpaw. Okay, you're southpaw, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh man, boom. Right, I got that. Okay, there you go. I am too a southpaw, and so is my son. You're fighting a lot of different people that get trained differently. Did you notice a difference when you were in the ring actually fighting an opponent from another country? Like what was one of the countries you fought?
Mongolia.
How is their boxing different than what you're being trained at?
They're more stiff, like more just like long punches, and they're really bouncy. They have more like a European Asian style, like Kazakhstan, for example. They're really strong though. The other countries are strong. I could give them that, and they're really like pressure, and they make sure they're not the ones going back, and you have to be able to adjust to that.
So you have to move around a little bit and be able to find the right angles and things like that.
If you brawl with them, I'm pretty sure you would lose because they're taught that way. They've been trained like that for years. So
and they're growing up is a different thing, you know, Benny, because in those countries they grow up not having anything, literally. And it does make a difference to you as a fighter.
Yeah, well, it does, because again, you remember they're fighting to get out of, whether it be poverty or whatever it is. I mean, I'm sure they have the love for it, but they're fighting for a different cause.
Right. Sometimes just to feed their family.
Yeah, exactly. But so they're not desperate, but they're hungry.
Yeah, and that's what you talk about heart, right?
There you go.
The heart is coming out.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And so you have to really understand that science to be able to deal with a lot of these types of guys. It's sort of like watching the pro game of, especially of the 1970s and 1980s, when a lot of heavyweight boxers were coming out of prison, like
right.
Ron Lyle and
right.
these kind of guys fighting Ali. You know, they had the grit and the hunger to change their lives, and then they meet up with a guy like Muhammad Ali, who's, you know, is just so sweet, right?
Yeah,
but
again, you know what is lonely on the top?
Yeah.
When it's lonely on the bottom.
Yeah.
So
It's always easy. It's easier to be king, but it's harder to stay king.
that's right. That's it. You can get the belt, but to keep the belt
Right.
and what you do with it is a different story.
So now you're winning all these fights, right? You're and people are going, wow, who's this American girl, right?
Yes.
And she's kicking butt, and now you get to the finals, the championship. Now, what person did you fight for the championship? Kazakhstan. And was she good?
She was an aggressor, so she did not give up. We both fought like it was like world, like it was just, how do I explain it? It was like a feeling where like, I'm not going to lose. No, I'm not going to lose. You know, we both had heart in there and we fought our butts off.
So you just kind of stood in the middle of the ring, Hitman Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard or Marvin Hagler, right? Just bang, bang, bang,
and then
bang.
I had to move around and use my jab a lot.
My lungs, I said, you need to move.
So when that was some. I was going to say, what kind of training, what kind of ideas did you give her when she came back to the corner?
No, well, at that point, they train with. She trains with my husband and I back at home.
Okay.
But when she gets to that national level where she's on the team, they take her, the Olympic Training Center, the OTC. They take her and they train them. They do training camps with them.
Oh, so you become part of the organization,
Yes.
and it's like soccer and ODP, Olympic Development
She
Program,
loves
same
USA
kind.
boxing at that point.
Okay.
But I was in the stands. I went there for mommy support as well, but also to
I could hear her.
That's got to
She
be
could hear
tough,
me.
though. You know.
Yeah.
She has a very distinctive voice where I can
How do
hear
you give
far
it up,
away.
Benny? How do you give it up, Mom? How do you brought her to this point? How do you
They say,
step back?
we
How do you
make
do
'em, they
this?
take 'em.
Oh man.
I think that's the hardest part is being in the ring is hard. But being a mom, being on the outside, looking at your baby being hit, believe me, that's harder.
Even
Emotionally,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
taking all the emotional hits, as Raxi's taking the physical hits.
She said she felt the punches.
So you have to do an ice bath afterwards too, right?
I had to eat a lot of ice cream to soothe my throat because she had several competitions, so
Right.
she could hear me. And I was just at this point, you need to move now. The fight's close. You need to move because the girl was just a pressure fighter, just stood in the middle, stood in front of her.
Right.
And American style is very different, so we have a lot more technique and we move.
Right.
You know, and these people just come
They're
forward,
just like
pressure.
and
They're like
strong.
like tanks.
Hard, yeah.
And
Yes.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
And their like punches are like they're not like they don't snap.
Well,
out
like
of
the Klitschko brothers, they had to learn the science of boxing. When they first came up, they were just bulldozers, straight ahead, and they had
That's
great
right.
jaws, both of them.
They have chins there.
Yeah,
that's
they
for
could
sure.
really
Take you
take a
so
punch,
far.
but that'll only take you so far when you get into with somebody else who's you got to have something else to give. And you know, Benny, let me tap into your experience a little bit. When you meet fighters like that in the ring, and they're brawn, you know, they're muscle, they're strong, and they're good fighters. They're ranked good, solid fighters. Okay, how do you know when to make that adjustment? Is it on the fly of the moment, or is it preparation before that helps you recognize the adjustments that have to be
Well,
made?
you know, it's like anything else. Physically, there's a lot of fighters that were much stronger than I was. However, what I had over them is I had the mental edge. In other words, I was able to tap into their thoughts of frequencies of every thought has that frequency of movement. I was able to tap into it and to be able to, once I captured them emotionally, they were done. It was just a matter of time physically. It was like taking out the axe and start chopping. They were going to fall sooner or later. But again, 80% of it is mental. 20% of it is physical. You're going to do that anyway. But then it's 99.9% of the rest of that is emotional, which is internal. As long as you do not put emotions into your focus of what you're doing, you have the mental edge. That's how Roxy been trained. And she doesn't add emotions into her focus.
So you're doing your job. It's sort of like you're doing your job and it keeps your mind clear, right? Is your mind clear when you're in there and someone's, getting some good jabs in and some right hands in and some hooks? Is your mind still very, very clear? Because you are absorbing pain. Yes. To the body. How does that affect your decision making while you're in there?
I think about it this way: like if I'm gonna get hit, I'm gonna try to fix it. So I mentally have to be there in order to fix it. If I just get hit and get angry and start throwing careless, you're gonna get hurt even more. So
right. You get knocked out.
Yes, I mentally prepare myself and okay, I need to fix this, so change it.
I think that's one of the hardest things for young boxers to learn is to subdue that emotion, turn it into positive energy, be intellectual about it, and not react with wild over-exertion and exaggeration. I think that.
And careless coaching. And she has a gift that where she's able to tap out of everything that's around her and tap into the corner with the corner. And she depends on the corner being focused and not emotional. And just waiting for the right proper instruction.
Yes, if the corner's emotional, it gets you like, oh my gosh, okay, like it gets you nervous because your coaches are freaking out, so it's gonna make you freak out. So
we all have to be on the same page.
Yes,
very cool, very cool. So now you win, all right, and this is the championship. I mean, you're like the champion of the world.
Yes.
For amateur boxing in the 119-pound range.
54
right?
kilos.
54 kilos. So the announcer comes in and he does something like this, right? He goes, "It's a unanimous decision from the USA, the brand new amateur world champion, Roxy Right Hook Roxy." Right?
Yes.
Right. What did that feel like when that happened or something like that?
At that moment, it kicked in like, oh my God, like I was so excited. And then like I do the ceremony, I'm like, am I really a world champion? They're doing the ceremony, giving me the gold medal. I'm like, this is not happening right now. Like it hasn't kicked in yet. It still hasn't really kicked in, but now I'm like, wow, I'm the champion of the world, the whole world.
And you're representing the USA too.
Yes.
And you're representing this lineage. I mean, you are like the heir apparent, you're the heir to represent to take it to the next generation. And you're beautiful too. And intelligent, you like to read. It's just terrific you just must have been proud. Mom, were you proud?
Oh my gosh.
Was mom crying? Was mom crying?
I think so.
Yes. Her teammates made me cry because I just stood there in disbelief. Not disbelief, I knew she could do it. Since quick story, since she was about the age of 10, 12 years old, I told her, I stopped the car, I said, you know what? I had a dream last night. And she looked at me, I said, I had a dream that the national anthem was playing and the flag was dropped, and I turned around, looked at the podium, and I saw you on the stand, on the gold medal stand, and you had your hand over your heart and you were singing the national anthem. And throughout those years, I had the same dream over and over and over. I think like twice a year I had it, and I always told her. And we spoke life into it. So when she actually won it, I had seen the vision before it. She knew it too. I just kind of just sat there like.
Well, there's an old cliche: if you can dream it and believe it, you can achieve it.
Yes.
So that is.
That's so true. No matter what you do in life, if you can dream it, if it comes from you, or comes from you, or comes from you, or comes from you, and you can believe in that dream, then you have every possibility to achieve it. And so that's really important that seed was set. I did the same things with my kids. They're both professional athletes. And I did the same things the minute they were born. I knew the direction I wanted them to go in athletics. And my daughter's a soccer player. My son's he's a obstacle course runner, Spartan warrior, tough mudder, CrossFit guy. He's one of those CrossFit guys, that do 5,000 pull-ups.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he's 23.
That's my goal.
Can we do 3?
Yeah.
Let me dream it and achieve. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have Jesse Andrew come down and put you through a CrossFit workout.
There you go.
Because it's. Man.
Yes, indeed. You're talking about little country, little city there in one shot.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you've got 2 belts. You got all kinds of bling going on here. So explain this one here. This is the one that you received, right?
This was in December when I made it on Team
bring
USA.
it up. Show it on the camera right here. Show it on the camera. Now that is the USA boxing champion. And USA Boxing, and you got Sting on the side, and USA Boxing, and you got Sting on the side. Now, where did you get this belt from?
I was in Salt Lake City in December 3rd through 9th, I think. And that was elite and youth and like all the other divisions, but we all fought for a spot.
In order to be on Team
Yes.
So this was a qualifying, very important qualifying.
This is one of the most important. I have to do it again in December to maintain my spot on the team.
Oh, you're going to do that. Come on, you're going to have it. Come on. Now you've got this beautiful medallion.
Well, before she took
whoa,
yes.
Look at this. What is this? Look at this.
This
Beautiful.
is the
oh my
WBC Amateur Champion belt. That's like one of my favorite belts.
Oh my Lord. Look
like
at the detail, guys.
Yes.
If you've never seen a champion's belt up front, they are so detailed. It has all the flags. It's got the WBC. It's got a word called elite here, and all the stars, and it shines like, man, this thing must just shine up like gold. It's beautiful. It's heavy, too. It's really, absolutely. Look at. Can I borrow this so when I get pulled over by the CHP, I can say, "Hey, you want to see my belt?"
There you go.
Right, and it has World Boxing Council since 1963. That looks like almost Teofilo Stevens there.
There you go.
It's a
but it's Muhammad Ali.
Like
Well, Teofilo Stevens and Muhammad Ali, they could have been brothers or cousins.
They probably were. They just didn't say anything.
Yeah, brothers from a different mother. And absolutely, World Boxing Council. It's got all kinds of cool. Look at that. Now, tell me about this one. Tell me.
So
now, what was
this
one
one is the world champion gold medal.
I want to know about this one first. Give me the history. Give me the story about this one here.
So that was local. That was in Whittier, California. It was an amateur show, but I was one of the picked fights to win the bout, an elite bout. So it's kind of like the professional bout, identical to it, and that's what I got. I won the fight, and I got the
all over the world.
WBC.
Wants this. It's called the green belt. So every world champion.
The
wants
WBC,
this belt.
yes. But I got it as an amateur fighter.
It doesn't matter.
One day it'll be professional.
One day you're going to be sporting this belt in the big time, man.
Yes.
I'm telling you. And the beautiful thing about this part of athletics, unlike when you were coming up and you were the champion, there's so much more opportunity for women, isn't there now, Benny?
That's true. Right now what's happening is my sister Lily, actually, she was the first she held the first boxing title ever. And because they didn't want women to actually fight. But she started a whole new thing in the boxing world where a lot more women started. And she took the first title in boxing. And she's in the Hall of Fame, Boxing Hall of Fame. And she took the first kickboxing title.
Yeah, that was remarkable. When
she's already had the martial art title, so she throws 3 titles in 3 different, sports.
That's how talented she was.
Yeah, she was.
She was just a gift in that respect. And what she would have thought to see her little niece today and the opportunities that women have. I mean, like Ronda Rousey, she's making like $5 million a year from the WWE or $10 million a year.
Yeah.
The money, the prestige, the athleticism, the respect, the physical fitness has all just excelled for women in this arena.
Well,
That's
Roxy
right.
was about 5 years old when Nina passed.
Yeah.
We were very close to her. She was like a mother to all the nephews and nieces.
Yes.
We were very close. As Roxy has a baby and running around hitting bags, and she told me one day, she's like, that one right there has it.
Really?
She's special. She's going to be a world champion. She's going to be an Olympian. She has it. Because my other daughter fought as well, but my aunt and a couple of other my nephews were fighting as well. But she looked at Roxy and says, Roxy has what it takes. Roxy has it all.
Well, a champion can notice a champion.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
You can pick them. When you had the Jet Center down in North Hollywood there
were 7 champions underneath me.
I mean, you picked them. You knew who walked in the door, and I want to be a fighter, I want to be a champion, I want to box, and they could work out every day, but you knew immediately, oh no, that's not going to happen for you.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not something you want to tell them, but at the same time, but the ones that did, they walked it, talked it, slept it, ate it. They trained 3 times a day. They ran at 6 in the morning.
Right.
They sparred and fought and hit all the bag work at 12 o'clock when the sun was right over their head.
Yep.
And then at night, at 6 o'clock at night when the sun came down, they were working technique. And this is what we're passing to Roxy.
Right.
3 times a day you're working. Why? Because again, this is something you're doing,
right?
For a way of life. And if it's a way of life, then you have to walk it, talk it, dream it, sleep it as it is a way of life. So that way, when it really comes down to it, because we're really saying it's not getting the title, it's what you do with the title. And her having, I mean, she has, you know, I have 29 belts.
I know.
But this one she has just as many belts as I do.
Sure, I
You know,
couldn't
she has
bring
so
them
many
because
belts.
there's so many. I'm like, I'm going to just leave this at
Yeah,
the gym.
you have to bring a
brought the
bulldozer
ones-
in here,
I
right?
brought the ones in my house.
Oh,
so-
these are beautiful. I mean, they're so heavy. They are so heavy. I can't tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how heavy these are. When you see champions, both men and women, wearing 3 belts when they're doing all the promotions and stuff, man, they probably put on 100 pounds in these belts because these are heavy belts.
Yes,
now,
Oh, when I was a little baby, I almost fell out the ring because the belt was so heavy.
She was 47 pounds her first fight. Or
Wow.
42 pounds her first fight.
how old were you?
8.
Okay, that's a good start. Now you have something else that's very special, and this is what you got recently
Yes.
as the new world champion. I love saying
I want
that.
you to be my announcer.
I will. I'm telling you, I'm at the Urquidez family's disposal. I called the fight over there, and
that's true.
We had a great time calling it. So yeah, absolutely. And Lee was there. He was there for all the fights too that day, and absolutely. But so tell me about this beautiful medallion. Now, this is cool.
Is a world champion gold medal. First place, 54 kilograms. That's where I fought the whole world. That's my recent one.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
The smallest thing comes with the biggest package.
Yes, the medals is what's really important.
Look at that, man. It says I can't read it because I don't have my reading
It says
glasses on.
AIBA Youth Women and Men's World Boxing Championships Budapest 2018, and in the back it says first place 54 kilograms and some Hungarian writing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, let me see. This is a Hungarian.
It's like in the bottom.
Oh, in the bottom.
They were actually speaking to me in Hungarian. Like I was like, no, I don't know what you're saying because I blend in with a lot of European countries because my light skin and my colored eyes. So.
Yeah.
I was really mistaken a lot. Some people thought I was Russian.
Wait a minute. I think what's going to happen is you're going to become a professional world champion, and then Adidas or Nike or somebody's going to come over to you because of that beautiful face and those beautiful eyes and the charming personality you have. You're going to be like endorsement city here. Absolutely.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, I mean that it's just absolutely, in that respect. And that's something to be proud of in terms of that. One of the things that I wanted to touch on was kind of the personal stuff, because you still got to go to school,
Yes.
and you got to train, and you got to go to school, and in that respect, how does your peer group see you? How does your friends?
Well, actually, now I'm homeschooled. I just got placed in homeschool, but before I was in school.
That's good.
Yeah, I plan on going back my last semester of senior year,
Sure.
which will be next year, so I can graduate and walk up the class. But my friends at first, they didn't really I didn't want no one to find out. Since I was little, I didn't want no one to find out I boxed. I always hid it.
Popular gym in the city of San Fernando.
Yes, and then kids saw me in the gym.
Up on McClay?
Yes, that was my gym.
That was your gym, across from the Masonic Hall.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
right.
I'm
that
a
was-
Mason. That's my lodge.
No,
So San Fernando 343, right?
That was but before, I didn't want no one finding out, and they came to the gym and they saw me, and I used to run in the back like, Mom, get him out of here, get him out of here. And then my cousins, they would talk all the time about my boxing, so then everyone just started finding out I was boxing and stuff. And also I just, at the end of the day, they found out, they saw my Instagram, and then
Well, yeah, you can't get away from social media.
Yes, they
that's for
search
sure.
up my name. It's right there on
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
But after a while, I got used to it. People still didn't really take it like, oh, she's just a boxer, like anyone. I'm like, okay, whatever, you guys. But now they're like, oh my gosh, she's all over social media and all over everywhere.
The world. You're the world champion.
And now
for
they
God's
take it
sakes.
differently. And then, yeah, it's crazy because
I want to touch a world champion.
There you go. There you go.
Especially a woman. I've had the opportunity to interview some terrific world champions over the years here, women, and it's a different dynamic than a man who becomes a world champion. Benny, it's a different dynamic because a woman, Mom, has a lot of other. Women are different than men, and men are different than women, and it has a lot of different things that affect the normal everyday living and lifestyle and the emotions and stuff like that. And for a young lady to overcome a lot of that stuff, especially like peer pressure and all of these things that are the plague of today and social media, that doesn't seem to affect you at all.
Well, just remember, women have to work harder. It's almost like they're always constantly having to prove themselves, to men warriors, and they're saying, "Oh, you're just a girl." And I said, "Well, jump in the square jungle with me."
Yeah.
Because again, because our girls always, for some reason, men look at a girl, okay, they have it fixed in their head.
Right.
You're just a girl.
Right.
But they don't realize that they're warriors.
Yeah.
They're warriors of the light,
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, I really have a lot of respect for women warriors because they have to go through so much. They have to prove themselves twice as much as a men warrior.
Even today?
Even to this day, they're still working twice as hard.
With all of the media exposure, with all of the popularity of women fighting, even today they still have that challenge, huh?
Yes.
Until they see right hook Roxy knocking a boy out, then they kind of like, okay.
Women boxing is starting to become more like viewed and stuff right now. Like I know someone, Michaela Meyer, Clarissa Shields.
Right.
They're fighters. I talk to Michaela Myers a lot, but they're saying by the time I get older, women boxing is going to be more out there. Michaela was like one of the first to be televised on ESPN, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I saw one of her fights here in town about 6 months ago.
She's a Valley girl too.
Yeah, she's tough.
Yes.
She's tough.
She's
Big
one
girl.
of my favorites.
Big girl too.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
girl. Big lady. Yeah. Strong. She's like one of those European fighters. She just keeps coming straight at you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Take a call. Who we got on the phone?
Hi, my name is Veronica.
Oh, hold on, Veronica. We're going to put you on so everybody can hear you.
Okay.
Getting feedback like mad. Hey, Veronica, how are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from California, Los Angeles, California, and my name is Veronica Reyes.
Oh, great, Veronica. Are you a fighter?
No, I'm not a fighter at all.
And have you seen?
I just watch a lot of boxing, and I've been following Roxy, and I know of her family, but I don't know the family. But I just follow her. She's a great fighter.
Well, she comes from a great lineage of fighters from the Urquidez family, and Benny, who's here in with us today, and Mom Gloria here. They were both fighters. Of course, Benny was a multiple world champion for many years, and his sister was a world champion in many divisions, and she's now inherited the torch, or Roxy, and in that respect, have you ever seen her fight?
I do. Like I said, I know of them, but I don't know them personally.
Thank you so much for calling.
You want to ask Roxy a question? Go ahead.
Sure. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Roxy.
Hello.
Hi. So I want to ask you a question. Where do you think you're going to go within 5 to 6 years from now?
I plan
as far as boxing.
Yes, I plan on going to the Olympics 2020. I want to win a gold medal. And I also in 2024, I hope to win another gold medal and maybe professional or depending what sports there are out there and see where the contracts take me.
So my family is a huge fan of your family, and I just want to congratulate you on your gold medal that we watched. You're on YouTube, and we watched it, all 3 fights. You did so awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching my fights. There's a lot of people that say, oh, they know me, but they don't really watch my fights. But I really thank you for that.
Veronica, let me ask you a question. What do you think about women's boxing and women's fighting?
I think they should be equal to men as far as getting paid, as equal to women and men, because boxing is boxing, whether it's men or women. And I know Roxy's doing a great job, and her family is her biggest supporter, but she also has a lot of fans out there, like me, rooting her on for the next big fight that comes her way, whether it be a title fight as she's an adult, or whether it be the Golden Gloves or any fight that comes along her way.
Thanks a lot, Thanks a lot, Veronica, for calling in. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And she brought something up that's really interesting, and that's the support of the fans.
Yes.
And the support of people that are following your career. A lot of people are watching you that you don't even know or even think they're watching you.
Yes.
In terms of support of the fans, do you feel that when you walk into the square ring ready to fight, do you feel the fan base?
I do feel
you?
it a lot on social media, especially because they're from all around the world. And for me, it's okay, I'm going to do this for my fans and my family and everyone who's been watching me, and of course the Lord. But it's just amazing how many fans I have, and I appreciate it.
Does that surprise you?
Yes, it actually motivates me to push me harder. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this better and this better.
Yeah, now she's an amateur, folks. She's not making a dime here yet. She's not a professional fighter. She's a world champion of the world in her 54-kilo division. And, and the next steps, of course, are going into the professional arena at some point in time when the team feels like that. But, Benny, talk about the fans and how fans can really help a fighter.
Well, first of all, I believe that Roxy is the people's choice. And the people's choice means when she goes out there, I don't think she's looking for that win. She's in there and she's doing her job. And in that, she becomes the people's choice. And I think that Roxy really, truly, it matters to her that she gives a good show to whoever comes to see her. And so in giving her a good show means that she trains when everybody's asleep, she's running. When they're eating, she's working out. So, and for myself, my fans, again, I believe that they will not forget my fight. Because when I go there, win, draw, or lose, they will not forget my fight. Because I will give them what they came for.
Right.
And I think that's what Roxy does. She gives them a show. I think that for myself, as she gets older and more sharper, she'll be able to move the audience. She'll be able to get them up on their seat. She'll be able to quiet them down. She'll be able to get them to hold their breath. I think that there's a skill that warriors know how to move the fans, especially the ones that follow you. And that's the key, I think, to the fight game is to be the people's choice, and I really believe she's the people's choice.
Well, there's an old thought that champions are willing to do what others won't.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, champions take it beyond the call.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
And so, but again, you either you're a paper champion or you're a true champion.
Yeah.
A paper champion wins it and loses it. Hey,
Yeah.
a real champion takes it and does something great with it.
Yeah, beyond the game itself,
That's right.
beyond the fight
That's
game
right.
itself. Are you concerned about the fans out there, especially with social media, Gloria, and how it affects and how intrusive it is into a person's life? Are you more concerned? Because 20 years ago, we didn't have to worry about. We had our privacy. We had our ability to kind of go in the woods and not be seen for a little while. But with social media today and the quickness and the immediacy of it all, right now, gotta have it. Want to know what's happening? What's going on? That invasion of privacy. As a mom, in respect to that, Do you think about that much?
Well, first of all, we had an agreement that when she was old enough and mature enough to have a social media, I allowed her to have her own social media. But there are rules and stuff, and I asked her to be very smart. She had mentioned to me that that she has certain followers and certain messages, and I trust her, and I know that she knows all the evil that's out there and all the bad stuff that can be out there, and she's responsible with her social media. So I don't feel like I have to monitor her every day, all day. When she was first on it, I did monitor, but I've seen certain things that her responses and being responsible. I just let her go. And
It's kind of cool, though, because you can relate to your fans immediately, like Veronica, who called. This was one of the ways that fans could touch their favorite athletes by radio interviews and TV interviews and seeing them at different events and such. But now you have the social media connection, so you can actually kind of respond to questions that they have and interests that they're interested in. That's like what you said, Benny, that those types of things, a great person can really help somebody and direct somebody that might help their life.
Yes.
Social media has become a very, very important tool to, get people known, and these young fighters known all over the world. She has people from all over the world following her.
Now, Lee's been working on trying to bring up some videos. This is a view, right here?
Yeah, I was about 14 right there. 13. I was really young right there.
Yeah, that was real young. Can we play this?
Yes.
It's on. It's playing right now. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so what you're seeing,
that was
guys?
Actually, her first after she won one of these as well to be on her first time in Team USA.
Show that
she
again.
Was 14.
Yes, absolutely.
She was 14. She actually made the team at that age. She was like 11.
So this is a compilation of your boxing career from a few years ago, going a little farther back. Do you have any current things that your fans can see right now that we can load up real quick?
I'm actually working on a documentary with my family.
Nice.
It's always a family thing, and
absolutely.
He's working on this documentary, but it's going to come out later.
He's been following
details.
Since she was 10. So
It's a really good documentary.
She's got a lot of footage.
People have to wait on that one, but I mean, there's recent fights on YouTube. There are a lot of old ones because we didn't really want our fights out there because people like. And all that.
Yeah, you got to have a little secret game going on here.
But now it's just public. So there's about my finals and world championships are up there, but I don't think my other two are up there. So that's one of the only fights I have right there.
So we talked a little bit about the training that you do with your mom and your dad, but let's talk about some training you do with your Uncle Benny.
Special. That's special.
That's got to be. I know you realize it, but just coming from somebody else. Just appreciate the talent and the knowledge and the expertness that this man brings to the game in terms of fighting, training, nutrition, philosophy. He was something terrific to watch at that time of his life. Just terrific. And I've seen him at the Jet Center training people over in North Hollywood and when he used to be over there. And so you have got something in your hands here that is so remarkable to have. And what's that like? Your uncle, who used to throw you up in the air when you're a little baby girl, right? What's it like training with your uncle?
I like it a lot because he really prepares me physically, but a lot mentally, and it helps me with my nerves and stuff, the way he talks to me. All the knowledge is just so much that it's really good, and the way he talks about it, it helps me a lot. And then physically, he teaches me a lot of technique, a lot of movement, and that's one good positive thing. Another thing.
What's it like training your niece, man?
First of all, it's such a treat for me because she's hungry. And she's a southpaw, so I understand her.
Yeah.
Because I'm a southpaw.
Yep.
But she fights southpaw. She fights right forward, and I fight left forward.
Right.
Is how I was taught.
Right.
But I love the fact that, I'm working with her, and honest to God truth, I was just working with her and this and that, and I said, okay, shoot a left hook to my body, come up with a right hook to the head. she hit me with a body shot. I said, okay, and I got to go check my pants.
He has to use,
I said, oh my God. I said, she hit me with the right cross.
he has to use the mitts now.
I thought she was just going to work with me. I didn't think she was going to hit me like that.
She hit you.
She hit me with the right cross. I mean, the
She was
left
trying to
cross. And
praise
I said, now I know what they're feeling. You
Yeah,
know?
without the pad.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have the body pad on? The body? Or
No, I didn't.
He should have put it on.
Do you know better, Uncle?
Well, you know what? What the good part about it is she caught me by surprise.
Right.
She caught me by surprise, and I know she hits hard.
Yeah.
But now I know how hard she hits. You
Right.
know, she's just working.
And that was a factor in over there. A lot of the girls, we didn't see any body shots, and Roxy is a big body puncher. And my husband
They were all
and
going
I-
for headshots,
They
huh?
were going for headshots,
Yeah.
and they were older, 18-year-old,
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
than her. And she stood there with them, but when she was hitting the body, they stood there like, "What the heck is this? Why is she hitting me so much in the body?" So that was the factor, you know.
Hey, you cut the tree down
That's
from
what
the
we were
middle.
taught.
Yes.
There you
You
go.
cut the
Cut
tree
the
down. You don't
tree.
go to the top of the tree. You cut it down here, and the tree comes tumbling down. Forget about the head. Everybody can get to the head. You get to the body. That's why in MMA, that's why BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, when it first came into the MMA fight game, was so powerful because they took the legs out. You take the roots out, and then nobody knows what to do. Only wrestlers
That's
knew
right.
how to sprawl, knew how to deal with that because they deal with taking a guy's
That's
legs
right,
out.
you know.
And still, even today, wrestling, a good wrestler can defeat a BJJ guy as long as the wrestler knows some rear naked chokes, and some joint locks and things like that. That you have to learn because you don't learn that
That's
in
right.
wrestling. So you work that body with the legs. If you evolve into you do some kickboxing, but you work that body.
But you know, it's like anything else. It's about climbing. You work the body is one thing, but learning how to climb,
Yeah.
how to hit the body and go right up the middle,
Right.
And
Right.
and this is being a southpaw.
Oh,
She has the advantage.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, she has the advantage of hitting the body and climbing upward.
Yeah, but she's a southpaw, but she leads with her right.
Huh?
She's a southpaw and she fights off the right.
She fights with the right leg forward, which is she fights southpaw.
Yeah,
But my sister, we fought left forward,
I
the
know.
opposite way.
I know.
And
For me,
But you were a southpaw.
Yes.
yeah,
I know.
that's right.
I play sports with my left, so I'm a southpaw and everything. Well, and I write with my right and I eat with my right. So I'm ambidextrous.
Was that natural? Was that natural when she first put on the gloves or first started, playing? Was that natural? The southpaw? Was it just a
Yeah,
natural thing?
She played baseball as a lefty.
So she's
Yeah,
okay.
and when I took her to gymnastics, because this girl had so much energy.
Right.
I ran out of sports. I didn't know what to do with her.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Doctor wanted me to give her medicine. I said no.
No,
medicine.
that's what we're doing to
She was
kids
very
today. We're
hyper.
killing them.
Yeah, she had
That's not.
ADHD.
No, she doesn't have that. She's just full of
Yeah.
energy. That's what mom and dads and grandpas used to say. Oh, he's just over it. She's just got too much energy. Go let her burn some off in the backyard.
The
And there's-
gymnastics coach.
Right.
Well, in the
said-
family, between all of us, I mean, when we burn out, we jump in the gym.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
what we done.
Right.
And there is no better, doctor, should I say remedy
Right.
than actually the gym itself.
It was
Right.
gym or
Because the
chancla.
focus.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gym or chancla.
So,
Yeah.
when she was the gymnastics coach tells me, your daughter does left-handed somersaults and cartwheels. And I've never seen that.
It's natural.
It's just natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's an advantage because there aren't many lefties in the world, and lefties go a long way real fast because most of the people are righties.
As they say, it's not who's right, it's who's left.
Yeah, that's
There's-
that's a good
There
one.
you
man.
go.
I'm stealing that
There you
one.
go. It's yours.
I'm
It's
plagiarizing
yours.
the heck out of
There
that
you
one.
go.
Okay. Yes, I like that. It's not who's right; it's who's left.
I was saying, I asked the kids, I separated in the gym, who's lefty right here? Well, you guys know why you're lefty? And they sit there like clueless, like, no. I said, because you're not right.
Oh, there you go. Absolutely.
There we go.
So, Lee, did you find any more videos or anything?
Is there a title, name on YouTube that I should be looking for?
Maybe just Iana Verduzco.
I'd like to catch one more
She's Google.
because we're just about out of time here. I mean, I could talk to you guys for 2 or 3 hours. This has been great fun. So you talked to Veronica. You told her where you think you want to be, you want to go. Your future's just bright. So I mean, where do you see yourself? you know, in that future as far as 10 years from now when you're 26?
10 years from now, I hope to have endorsements. I hope to be successful with my career. But also, I do want to go to college. You know, I want to go to college. I want to study criminology.
My daughter is a criminal justice major.
Oh, my gosh. I want to be a federal agent, FBI agent.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. If that was like, say something, God forbid, I get hurt or something, you know, that would be another option. But I also want, my education is very important to me.
Very good.
Education before boxing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, education lasts a lifetime.
Yes.
Your boxing only lasts a certain portion of your life.
Yes, exactly.
And if you're a champion, you can extend that into a history of you and taking care of you know,
mentoring
possibilities
kids,
that come up.
mentoring people.
But if you aren't, you know, you have to have something to fall back on.
Well, opening up the title, I mean, having the title is a key to the doorway. So, it opens up the doors, but it's when you're in there, it opens the door, but what keeps you in there is what you know.
Maybe becoming an actor.
Experience. Yeah, that's what keeps you there.
Right. I mean, you're a businessman.
There you go.
You know, you not only were you a great champion, you're a stunt coordinator with films and a
That's
trainer.
what I want to do.
You know, and in that respect, but also a businessman. And you
go.
too, a businesswoman. You had your own gym. I mean, these are businesses. So you come from not only
to restaurants, I shut them down just to be able to travel.
There you go. You see, so you're talking. You have the acumen of a whole family of experience and business, and you can't go wrong. All right, and if you have any trouble with this young lady, you send her my way, and we'll practice a little Wing Chun.
There you
go. Okay, we'll do that too. No, I don't want right hand Roxy, man. I don't want to feel the right hand.
There you go.
Absolutely not. I'll tell you a funny story. And Lee, how much time we got?
You're over time, but it's okay. I got the video for you.
Okay, let's play that video. So, okay, cool, very cool. We'll get that in a second. I'm boxing at Jeff Langton was a student of yours, and he also became a trainer of yours, and he worked at your gym for many years.
That's right.
And he's a stuntman and an actor in 35 or 40 films. He's my brother-in-law, my brother by love, not by blood, because I have no brothers or sisters. But so he had his own boxing gym for about 10 years over on Oak Street in Burbank. And so I used to go in there and train a little bit and train a little bit and train a little bit and work out a little bit and whatever. And so I got a little wise. And so I went over to another gym in Burbank up on the mall. And I was goofing around with a guy who was like 22 years old. Now I'm 48 at the time. I'm okay. I can handle what I need to handle. And so I threw a right, and then he ducked under, he bobbed under it, and he coming at this angle on me. So I threw this, and I was dropping my elbow, and I was going to come with an overhand left down on him, right? So my mind said, "Oh, boom! I know where he's going," because you just know it, right? Yeah. Boom! Oh, okay. Then I'm going to turn and angle and come overhead left down on top of him. And my mind said it, my intelligence said it, but my body didn't move it.
There's that delay reaction.
When I get so tired, that happens.
And with I took a left right here, a left hook right here, right? So I don't want no hooks. Yeah. Right hook, Roxy. Okay, thank you. It dropped me like a sack of potatoes.
Well, let's put it this way. You still having that kind of memory from way back then, so you know.
Dropped me like a sack of potatoes, man. So, but I was 48. That's 10 years ago when that happened. There you go. And I had an epiphany. I'm not going to mess around with any 22-year-olds anymore. So forget 16. They're too fast.
That's right. That I'm in agreement with.
So, fantastic, guys. We got a video that we're going to play here. Lee, what did you find?
Looks like the championship.
Okay, well, let's bring it up and watch it, and then we'll say our goodbyes and let the folks know where they can contact you. Absolutely.
Szaladjon és igazítsa be.
Oh, yeah.
Gyakorló lányos apuka vagy, ez a legkevesebb. Hogy 3-as, 4-es vonásokat becsukott
hajrát irányítottam.
Na, az remekül megy akkor.
Igen.
Az Amerikai Egyesült Államok sportolója érkezik legelőször. Ilyen Roxanne Verduzco, aki többszörös Amerika bajnok, ifiben is és juniorban is sikerült bajnoki címet szerezni, a fordított kalapállású balkezes. Az ellenfel pedig
So Roxy, bring her mic up a little bit. Rox, so this was the championship fight in Hungary, right?
Yes.
Okay, and this happened just a couple of months ago, right? About a month and a half.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, yeah.
And this is the fighter that you fought for the title?
Yes.
All right, so set this up. What were you feeling right about now?
I was like, I'm gonna win that gold medal, no matter how hard that girl hits or how fast or whatever. I just said I'm gonna win that gold medal.
Now, had you seen her fight before this?
Yes, she fought a couple times, and I in my head I was like, I could feel like I could compete with her. You know, it's not like a big difference. And so there's her.
Now you guys are fighting without headgear too.
No, we have headgear.
Oh, you
we
put
them
I was
on.
going to say.
Yeah,
okay.
they make us
Because
put
this
it on.
amateur, 3 rounds, right?
Yes, 3 rounds, 3 minutes.
So in this 3 rounds that you're going to go, did you have a plan to how to handle her, or was this developing as you were fighting her through each of the rounds?
I had a strategy of moving around, using my jab a lot. Don't back up with her, but the strategy changed a little because she was really aggressive. So I was like, I'm moving to my side, use my jab, just fast hands and combinations, and hit the body and break her down.
So this is for the amateur championship of the world, and you're representing the USA here.
Yes.
And the championship fight just a couple of weeks ago in Hungary with right hook Roxy right there in red, and the other fighter is from what country again? Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan in blue. And it's an amateur fight, 3 rounds for the world championship. So is this the whole fight? Or are you going to bring
It's
us
the
just...
whole fight.
Well, let's watch a little bit of it.
Fontos a magyar ökölvívásnak.
Másik fontozó, vagy másik bíró egyébként mérkőzésvezető Juhász Roland volt, aki kim volt Rióban.
És ő most a versenyigazgatója.
Most koordinálja a mérkőzéseket. Találkoztam is vele a döntők megkezdése előtt, kérdeztem, hogy bírja, azt mondja, nagyon-nagyon fárad, de hát most már itt már
right about now, what are you thinking? Because you just started.
Like, oh, she's coming up a lot and she's starting to go wild, and like my punches, she's smothering me. My punches are everywhere. I'm like, I gotta fix this. And see right there, she was holding my hand, so I could only use one hand. You'll see it. She'll probably do it again.
Vadász András, aki az egyik nap szakkommentátor volt, ő folyamatosan itt van és hozza az eredményeket, futszalat, ha kell, buszt vezet, tehát hogy nagyon sokan magukénak érzik ezt a világbajnokságot.
Now, Benny, is she being able to get out of this predicament pretty easily here?
You know, right now, because this girl's aggressive, but again, it's who's first. And so Roxy was being first, which really made the difference. That she was being first, even though this girl was aggressive, but she was first.
Right.
She was being first,
Stopping her
because she
aggression?
was going low and coming right up. So she was doing she wasn't just being just a headhunter. She was going up and down.
Right.
Yeah, but
See again, she was holding me.
Yeah.
Tanuljanak, lássanak és erre a szintre jussanak el.
These are the USA coaches.
Yes, those are them. I got it.
Fontos, hogy a gyerekek lássák azt, hogy mi az a ökölyves, ami célra vezet, és amit kell a ringben nyújtani.
No.
Because mit szépen
Right, yeah.
az a meccs.
Verduzco egy picit fiatalabb.
So now it looks like you're starting to jab and move around a little bit. Starting to get away from her tie-up.
És a kazak lány pedig 2000 november.
And she seems to be throwing the same combination, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Well, there's a commercial that gets played because any videos that get a lot of sees, a lot of likes and a lot of views on YouTube and stuff, they insert a commercial about a
Wow, I'm
minute
looking a little pale.
But you know, it's especially as amateurs, you know, you got 3 rounds to do what you need to do, and they go nonstop from bout 1 to bout ending.
Right.
And you have to have a lot of stamina. And sometimes you get rocked, and it's how strong you are mentally to recover why you're throwing, because you don't have time to take a breath.
Right.
Because every time you're breathing, you got gloves right in your face or in your body.
Because
So
it's a points game mostly.
yeah, you have to be really not only in good shape, but mentally, you have to be very focused. As you can see, they're both zeroing in on each other.
Right.
You know, it's like radars going in. And but the good part is Roxy's going from not only on top, she's going low. So sometimes you can't see her low shots, but she's going low to the body.
Like you
coming
said
right back
earlier,
up.
she's working from low to high.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a nice body shot right there, kind of a right hook up underneath her left. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. As they move around a little bit. See, now you're starting to use the ring. So you're starting, Roxy. Did you find when you were doing this, was this confusing her a little bit?
Yes, if I used my fast feet and move, it was confusing her. There's times I'm like, I cannot get tired. Like, right then, I'm like, what am I doing? So then I step back. Like, I gotta adjust myself. Is that the first?
Probably the first round. We're not going to watch the whole fight here. You can catch us on YouTube. Do you know what website this is, Lee? Is it YouTube? Any specific?
Iana Verduzco, and then it'll just pop up as one of the first fights.
Okay. See if we can see the final round a little bit.
There's a nice headbutt in the final round.
Oh shit! That's when my nose started bleeding.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Not in amateur fighting because they stop stuff pretty quick.
That's round.
Is this the third round now?
I think so. It's the last clip.
And my head thing came out.
Yeah, your nose bleeding a little bit, so they give you a little stop check.
That was the headbutt, and right now they're gonna fix my thing.
So getting smashed in the nose and having your nose bleed, was that the first time or it's happened before?
I haven't had my nose bled since I was like 10 years old, but from a headbutt, that's the first time.
Have you had your nose broken yet?
No, never.
Yeah, it will.
Don't say that.
Hopefully,
Not
actually,
speaking life into that.
No, I take it back.
she moves very well, but at the same time, when you have this type of fight, they're doing head first as they're throwing. And head is going first, and then their hands following.
Why is that, Benny?
You know what happens is that sometimes you feel that you have more power throwing your head forward and letting your hands follow, but there's no truth to that.
No.
But sometimes mentally you think,
right,
throwing my head first and then throwing the hand behind it, it's almost like a ball and chain.
Yeah,
coming at. But when you get with better skill, you stop throwing your head forward. You
utilize your punching.
But yeah, because I mean, they're throwing powerful shots.
Yeah,
they're throwing power. Every one of those shots are power shots.
Right.
They're not tapping and preparing. They're just. I mean.
So now she's thinking.
What
What she's thinking now, she got you right because you made your nose bleed. But
so that made me more hungrier. I'm like, oh no, I'm not letting this happen.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. That was a beautiful left.
You're famous. Everyone wants their commercials on your clips.
Yeah, that was a beautiful left.
It says skip ad right there.
I don't think. Oh yeah, skip ad to the right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sometimes they won't let you skip. Sometimes they will, but
should we get paid for this?
Yeah, if on YouTube, if you have a certain amount of hits, you do get paid a couple $1,000.
You have to set it up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that respect. All right, so, that was the championship fight. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely right. Benny, this has been a wonderful time spending time with you. I really appreciate that, again, coming down and sharing some of your wisdom. I mean, there's so much wisdom, and not just in the boxing game, but in the life game. And I'm so enthusiastic that you have somebody like Benny in your corner to be able to give you words and teach you how to fight and give you some inspiration and stuff like that, because this guy is really inspiring, and I so loved watching you over the years, and I really appreciate you.
That. Thank you.
Very, very much. And Mom, you can't do without Mom and Dad.
That's right.
It takes a mom and dad to really support, and the whole family. We got AJ over here. Hey, come on over here, man. You popped in here a little bit late. Boxing promoter and entrepreneur, and family member, another part of the Urquidez clan. And we found out that we only lived a block away from each other.
That's right.
For all those years in Sun Valley. I didn't even know that.
We did.
Yeah, and we went to Bird, and he was a little bit behind me, but we we beat up all the same people. I just beat up their brothers, and he beat up the youngsters.
Kind of just pass it along.
I just pass it along. Oh, don't worry about it. Urquidez is going to get your little brother. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Bully.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But you got a great team behind you, and how do you feel about that?
It feels amazing. I feel blessed to carry the torch, and it just feels good to be part of this legacy.
Absolutely. And keep a smile on that face, a beautiful smile of yours, and a sparkle in your eyes. And that is so wonderful to keep that inspiration and that positive attitude, and keep studying and going to school and keep boxing, because the world of opportunity for female fighters and warriors, like Benny says, is just starting to open. Your timing couldn't be better to have a great career and help a lot of people.
Yes,
you know, because a lot of people watch the fight game that helps them change their life.
Well, we all need heroes, and she definitely is a hero that these young girls can actually look up at, you know, and she has always something positive and something really good to say for them, and I get a big kick watching and listening to her, because I said, okay, she's definitely, she has such a beautiful heart. Her soul, is pure, and so she's going to be a great inspiration.
Two great champions right here, Benny the Jet Urquidez and Roxy, right hand Roxy.
Right hook.
Left hand.
Left hand. Kick your ass, girl. That's what she is. That's it. That's right. Left hand. Right hand?
No, right hook, Roxy.
Right hand. Right hook, Roxy. I got it right. I don't think you want to hire me now. Oh, I just blew my audition. We'll see you guys. The Brown Beauty's off duty.
Thank you. Thank you.